celebrate the accomplishments of the class of 2016. I'm so grateful to stand here and to be a part of a truly amazing class full of individuals who pursue everything with passion and support one another. The love that permeates this class is truly transformative. It makes you want to become a better person. With that being said, I would like to remember our beloved classmates, James and Troy, whose untimely deaths prevent them from being physically present with us today, but whose love continues to touch us all. What does 4 years at Bates entail? All the hiking your heart desires, friendships, mentors, an endless winter, emails about how to walk like a penguin in order to avoid falling on ice, being stampeded by middle schoolers rushing for the frozen yogurt machine, getting dressed the morning after a night out and realizing that you have someone else's bean boots and winter coat, being scolded by your mother for purchasing $115 worth of mozzarella sticks from the den. Most importantly, 4 years at Bates entails a special process of learning yourself and the world around you. Bates has allowed me to develop the courage to ask questions, to continuously engage with the unfamiliar, the uncomfortable, and to challenge my convictions. You may be thinking, well, yeah, that's the purpose of an education. Yes, questioning is the key to learning and quenching your curiosity, but along the way, we tend to forget that the questions are just as important as the answers that we obtain from them. When I was young, I incessantly asked questions like any other kid. Why can't I ride the dog's back? Can a girl become president? And if Pokemon were real, which genius and family would they belong to? But early on in the education system, the magic of asking questions was lost for me. I stopped asking questions out of fear of being perceived as incompetent. And let me tell you, it had terrible consequences, such as me confusing Nair hair remover for body lotion because I was too stubborn to ask. That day, I lost every piece of hair on my body. You would think that not having eyebrows would have compelled me to start asking questions again. Only Bates was transformative enough to restore my desire to question. So you may be wondering, what was the first question that I asked as a Batesy? Well, it was, oh my God, am I going to die? That question was directed towards my ASOP leader as I struggled to learn to surf and catch a wave at Popham Beach. And it was also the second question I asked, as wild turkeys descended on our tents during the night. Bates talks a lot about the transformative power of our differences, and I have to agree that our learning is a function of the characteristics of our community more than anything else. I have never met a community that is so loving and inspiring. Curiosity is innate in all of us, but it is the support of the community that ignites the courage in us to believe in, feel, and see our potential, and to dare to pursue it. A Bates education is full of radical self-love. We have not been primed to readily accept answers or to seek the readily available ones. Together, we harness the power of questions. We ask questions that lead to creative problem solving. We ask questions that shift perspectives, create conversation, build leadership, establish empathy, and catalyze action. We all have the things that Bates has offered us alone, but these are the experiences that we share. As my time at Bates progressed, my questions stopped revolving around my fragile mortality and truly started to allow me to pursue a meaningful life. I have this theory that when a fellow Batesy or a professor asks, "How are you doing?" what they really mean is, "Who is it that you wish to be?" And when they ask, "What are you up to today?" what they really mean is, "What do you wish to achieve in this life?" Because every interaction I've had here, whether it's a meal in Commons, attending office hours, or being huddled around a group project in LAD, you have all demonstrated the bravery to take an honest, gentle look at yourself and to wholeheartedly pursue your passion. When I finally allowed this characteristic at the core of our vibrant community to galvanize me to do the same, I was liberated. In December, on the way back from the World Universities Debate Championship, a unique opportunity provided by my experience at Bates, I found myself venturing to Ramallah in the West Bank with my dear friend and classmate Sasha to learn more about Israel and Palestine. As I sat across from Palestinian university students, I used the courage Bates instilled in me to ask, what else could the right to education mean? I had always had the privilege of the myopic view of education as a form of individual empowerment or the path to employment. A young woman leaned over and said, "Education is a part of resistance in Palestine as we see it." It is easy to forget that there are a multitude of definitions for the things that we hold dear. And by asking questions, I learned that education is resistance to injustice, education is hope. And as I stood crammed in the turnstiles at the checkpoint, leading from the West Bank back to Jerusalem, my heart and mind both heavy, I realized that I could never, ever go back to not questioning. Because it is the questions that we ask that give us purpose and facilitate our efforts. It is the questions that we ask that remind us there is still good that needs to be done in the world. So as we receive our degrees today, we must keep in mind the responsibility and hopes that come with it. Today, whether we are first generation, the children of immigrants from Maine or other locations, not only have we been uplifted, but the communities that we are a part of. Our general education has always provided us with the questions and assessed us based on our solutions. We've been trained to be efficient problem solvers, but Bates is a form of higher education that breaks that mold. Few institutions dare us to ask the right or difficult questions, the one that may seem like a lifetime of struggle. Bates has provided all of you and me with powerful tools, knowledge and faith. Knowledge has made us proficient in our specialized fields, but the tapestry of faith woven by our relationship here spurs us to understand and act. We are faithful that if we venture outside of our comfort zones, we will learn and grow. We have been equipped with a delicate balance of inquiry and advocacy. Through inquiry, we seek to listen and understand the truth of others. The main objective is not necessarily answers, but to ask questions and truly listen in order to create an environment of empowerment and new awareness. There's a common occurrence in our classes where professors pose questions that spur us to gaze into the deep crevices of our capabilities and fears. In a history seminar, Professor Hilmar Jensen once asked, "Would you, as a Northern college student, travel to the South during the Freedom Summer of '64? Our class left that evening pondering what would we do for others? Would we be brave enough to speak up in the face of injustice? Congressman John Lewis, an American hero and civil rights leader, is here today as I continue to reflect on that question. That is the power and magnitude of a Bates education. The poet and novelist Rainier Maria Rilke once said, "Be patient towards all that is unsolved in your heart and try to love the questions themselves. Live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer." Don't worry, we can still be courageous and direct our efforts with these questions, even when it's difficult to find an answer. That's because Bates has given us faith. When we lost our classmates, we held each other, unable to fathom why. When we found the question we were passionate about, we were given a whole semester or a year for you overachievers to explore it while writing thesis. Were any of our theses correct? Who knows? However, we all know it took a lot of faith and Commons coffee to get through that process. Where will I be in 10 years? I don't know, but what gives me the ability to be fearless as I am ushered into tomorrow is my confidence in each and every one of you to do something meaningful and to continue to pose questions. Remember, questions are the language of faith. Benjamin E. May's wise words lie at the heart of Bates. It isn't a disgrace not to reach the stars, but it is a disgrace to have no stars to reach for. Class of 2016, let the questions be your stars. Thank you, Bates, for a wholesome education where we do not fear tomorrow or our greatness, but strive to delve into it with heartfelt participation. Congratulations.